with murder. Of course, we're talking about Molly Corbett and Tom Martens and the 2015 killing of Molly's husband, Jason. He was killed in his Wahlberg home. The murder weapon, a baseball bat and a brick paver.
WFMY News 2's Amber Lake joins us live, and Amber is back to prison for both.
Right, guys, and it was a pretty intense day inside the Davidson County Courthouse. Both Molly Corbett and Tom Martens received new sentences today. 51 to 74 months in prison for the death of Jason Corbett. Now, both Molly and Tom are going to receive credit for the time that they served, 44 months back in 2017. Today in the courtroom, the judge said multiple times he doesn't know what truly happened the night in 2015. He also said he's clung to every bit of detail in this case and used his experience to make the hearing and sentencing both fair and impartial. The judge said this case has a number of holes in it and that he searched for the truth. Molly and Tom will serve a maximum of 74 months in prison. The judge ordered for Molly to be assessed by the prison for suicide precaution. The judge also ordered psychiatric evaluation and any treatment that may be indicated. Both Tom and Molly are to not have any contact with Jason's children, Jack and Sarah. Tom Martens' attorneys spoke with us briefly after the judgment today.
We accept what he did. We accept the sentence, accept the judgment. I hate our client had to go back to prison, but he understands and he accepts it, and so it's time to move on, I think.
Now, we did finally hear from Jason's children, Jack and Sarah, in court today, and you can tell Sarah was very bitter when it comes to her former stepmother. She said, quote, "I do not love Molly Martens. She is not my mother." I was also able to speak with the sister of Jason Corbett, Tracy Lynch, whenever she came out of the courthouse today. We were trying to ask if she wanted to say anything regarding the judgment, and she said today is not a day to celebrate. We'll have more reaction coming up at 5 o'clock. Live in Davidson County, Amber Lake, WFMY News 2.
Amber, thank you. The investigation into Jason Corbett's death started about a decade ago. To see our comprehensive coverage about the case, text Corbett to the number on your screen, and we'll be sure to send you a link. Now to another major story we've been following. Thousands of Guilford County people are sick and tired of constant power outages. About 6,000 people went without power for a few hours today. Those who live and work between Guilford College Road and I-40 say this keeps happening. WFMY News 2's Hannah Jeffries spoke to some in the area whose work days keep getting uninterrupted.
From restaurants to barbershops, several businesses operate in this shopping center off of Wendover. And while each business is different, they've been experiencing the same problem over the past few weeks. Power outages, and it impacts them differently. Swivel Barbershop says for the past few Fridays, the lights have turned off during their hair appointments. Since it felt like a pattern, some of the barbers have even blocked off their Friday mornings so they wouldn't have to deal with it.
I went and bought a few headlamps, so we just throw the headlamps on and we just keep cutting. Oh, well, they instantly think, like, you know, they just lost all their hair, like they're gonna have to be bald because we can't see. You know, it's an instant, like, their whole facial expression just changes. And then as soon as they see that we're used to it, they feel a lot better.
Now, since it isn't Friday, both Swivel Barbershop and Mario's Pizza weren't expecting today's outage. The restaurant says their power went off this morning while they were prepping for the lunch rush. Since they were behind, they had to close their doors and turn customers away.
I'm thinking, again, you know, it's been going on every week now for the past 3 weeks. It's caught us really off guard. To be honest, I thought this Friday was going to happen again, you know, so maybe I anticipated it for Friday. Not that I want it to happen, but.
Now, Duke Energy says there has been multiple outages within the area over the past few weeks, but it's just a coincidence that it's been happening on Friday mornings. They say during one of the outages, a car hit a pole, and in another, a contract crew hit some of the lines. They're also doing improvements within the area to make the grid stronger in hopes to avoid future outages.
Well, it's been another unseasonably warm day across the Triad as we're sitting back in the middle and upper 70s, and thanks to that heat and those gusty winds, helping to fuel those wildfires, not only in southwestern portions of Virginia, but also here in North Carolina in our mountains. You can see a little bit of haze here from our camera in Winston-Salem. Highs today made it into the upper 70s, just a couple of degrees away from the record set back in 1914 of 80 degrees. We hit 77. Next 12 hours, we're going to be back in the 60s, eventually into the 50s. Now tomorrow, going to be very close to that record of 82 set back in 2005, likely making it to just around 80 degrees before increasing clouds begin to make their way into the area. Now we've also been very dry the past several months. By several, I mean throughout October and throughout the month of November. That is helping to fuel these wildfires in portions of western North Carolina. I've got a better idea of when we can expect our next chance of rain and cooler air that's coming up in just a bit.
Smoke from the wildfires burning in North Carolina and Virginia are becoming an issue. Air quality is now a concern for not only western North Carolina, but much of the whole state. Guilford County is categorized at a moderate level, while the west sits in red and orange levels. Code red being unhealthy and code orange being unhealthy for sensitive groups. Now, fire departments from all over are responding to the blazes. The fire in Henderson County continues to burn. So far, firefighters from across the state have been able to contain 15% of it, but over 400 acres are still burning. Crews say they have been able to create barriers to stop the spread of the fire. The county has issued a state of emergency.
That's why you haven't seen the acreage increase, right? So it's down to bulldozer lines. We have some hand lines in there as well, and then the road network that's up there. So between all of those things, we have it hemmed up.
In Patrick County, Virginia, firefighters are also trying to keep the flames from getting to homes and people. Firefighters say they've been able to protect every house that's been threatened. Meanwhile, 3 Summerfield firefighters are in western North Carolina helping put out fires there. Their fire chief tells us they'll be there until the end of this week. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. The Greensboro community will come together tonight to reflect. The city is hosting a candlelight vigil to honor and remember the record 65 lives lost this year to violence. Organizers say it's to show solidarity and support the impacted families. The vigil starts at 5:30 at the Government Plaza in downtown Greensboro on Green Street.
Charlotte FC is once again searching for a head coach. Today, the team announced it has fired the head coach despite the Major League Soccer team reaching the playoffs for the first time. The team also fired the assistant coach. The team's president says the front office made the decision after an off-season evaluation. The soccer club's next hire will be the 3rd person to coach Charlotte since the club began play as an expansion team last year.
It's looking like history in High Point following the city's municipal election. Last night, the city presumably elected its first black male mayor for the city and city councilman, Cyril Jefferson. The votes won't be certified for a few days, but as of right now, Jefferson appears to have beat out his opponent, Victor Jones, for the mayor's seat. The seat for Jefferson opened up when incumbent Jay Wagner announced plans to run for Congress.
An update on the Winston-Salem crash that damaged a popular barbecue spot. Mr. Barbecue is back open. The restaurant posted on Facebook that the damage and debris was cleaned up and the drive-thru is now open for service. We also got an update from police on that crash. Right now, investigators believe the driver was speeding on Peters Creek Parkway when they tried to avoid hitting a car that pulled out in front of them and crashed into the building. No injuries were reported and no charges have been filed as of now.
Today we are introducing you to a computer scientist who has become known in the tech world as the godmother of AI. Fei Li immigrated to the United States as a child.
She shares her rise to the top of her field in her new memoir, The World's I See. Jolene Kent cruised to Stanford University's campus for a look at the state of artificial intelligence.
You have to learn to see it, you have to learn to manipulate it.
At the helm of this Stanford University Artificial Intelligence Lab is Professor Fei Li.
Basically training robots.
A 47-year-old computer scientist known as the godmother of AI, leading a team of graduate students teaching robots to mimic human behavior.
Are you comfortable with the title Godmother of AI?
No. I'm not.
Why not?
I would never call myself that. I don't know how to balance my personal discomfort with the fact that throughout history, men are always called godfathers of something. Oh, this is cool.
Li has been working on artificial intelligence for almost 20 years, making a major breakthrough when she built a system to teach computers how to recognize or see millions of images and describe the world around us. She called it ImageNet.
There were skeptics out there. You were told by a colleague that ImageNet was too big of a leap, too far ahead of its time.
In hindsight, we bet on something we were right about. Our hypothesis of AI needs to be data-driven and data-centric was the right hypothesis.
So this is how you get around Stanford?
Yeah.
Today, she's one of the most important AI researchers leading a campaign that all AI should be driven by people.
I'm here today.
Li has taken this urgent message to Congress.
There's nothing artificial about artificial intelligence. The scientists are human. I'm a human. And as a piece of technology, be it very powerful, that we need to be grounded to humans.
There have been some major mistakes made by AI that you write about in your book.
Mm-hmm.
You write, it was hard not to feel a twinge of culpability.
Well, so first of all, I think recognizing the problem and even taking responsibility is the first step, because we are seeing the consequences, and many of them are unintended in ushering this technology. I do feel we have more responsibility than just creating the tech.
In her new memoir, The World's I See, Li opens up about her deeply personal immigrant story that's inextricably intertwined with the rise of AI.
You write in your book that artificial intelligence is something so big and so powerful, so capricious, that it could destroy as easily as it could inspire.
AI as a piece of powerful tools, it can be used in the wrong way. I believe in the goodness of people. I believe in the arc of history bends towards justice. I believe in the value system that our country is founded in.
Li is also at the forefront of bringing artificial intelligence to healthcare and advised President Joe Biden on the urgent need for more public sector funding so the U.S. can become the global leader in AI.
How did it happen that you grew up middle class in China, you immigrated to the United States into poverty, and now you are the godmother of AI?
I don't know how it happened. You're uprooted from everything and the only thing you knew, that you don't even know the language. And you see the challenges your parents are dealing with.
You've had a number of jobs on
Yes.
your way here to the
Yeah.
top. You worked at a Chinese restaurant off the books for $2 an hour, is that right?
Yes.
Your parents started a dry cleaning shop while you were in college. And while most kids in college are off studying, you were translating for them, working there.
That's a norm, yeah.
And that was just everyday life.
Yeah, that's my everyday life.
Her hard work resulted in a nearly full ride to Princeton, where she studied physics and a PhD from Caltech. Today, Li is raising her 2 children along with her husband, a fellow computer scientist. And along with her research, she supports AI for All, an organization she co-founded for more diversity in her field.
Are you satisfied with what you see so far right now?
Oh, no.
Not at all.
We don't have enough diversity in this technology at all. We're seeing improvements. There's more women, but the number of students from diverse backgrounds, especially, people of color, we have a long way to go.
You've described AI as a phenomenon. Now you call it a responsibility.
To me, it's to ensure that it maximizes benefits to all humans. But I don't want to give agency to AI itself. It's going to be used by people, and the power lies within people.
I do love the fact that she recognizes the power of bad with AI,
Yeah.
and that she said, I believe in good in people, because we know what could go wrong with it. We know all the possibilities, but I love the fact that we're using AI to check on AI, which is really the only way to do it. We're not smart enough to keep up with AI, you know?
I 100% agree.
Yeah, I just feel like there's so many things out there and different opinions when it comes to AI. Like some folks seeing the good in it, other folks saying, you know, we're gonna lose the face-to-face communication that, you know, humans have on a day-to-day basis. But it's an evolving technology, AI, and I see the good and the tough side to it as well too.
Me too.
So.
You know, Ben Briscoe was showing me an AI interface in Photoshop today.
Yeah.
And did he show you that?
I've seen it.
It's incorporated now in a lot of apps.
Couldn't believe that instead of the old days of cutting out your image and putting a background, you just say beach background and it throws it in behind you.
And it does it, and you have several different options to click through. It's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Good.
All good.
Yeah. Everybody's good. Temperatures just here at 420, still lingering in the middle and upper 70s. And not only has it been unseasonably warm, it's also been very dry, aiding in this fire danger that has burned bans across western portions of North Carolina. Super dry across our area. Again, notice this was issued last Thursday. So into tomorrow, we are going to have a new map that will likely be worse, given haven't seen much rainfall in the past week. Our next best shot of showers is going to come with this incoming cold front sweeping into the area again tomorrow. Going to be approaching near record temperatures in the lower 80s ahead of moisture. With this low pressure system approaching into the day on Friday, could bring in a couple of showers later into the afternoon and could even stall heading into the weekend. And according to this model here, our Euro model, it's anywhere between 1/10 of an inch to under that. So not expecting a lot of relief from this system, but if it does stall, according to the Euro, could even bring some more to especially particularly southern counties heading into your upcoming weekend. But next 12 hours going to remain pretty nice and dry. We're back in the 60s and in the 50s. 7-day forecast, big changes. Tomorrow going to be the last warm day for a while. Then we start seeing a little bit of a reality check, starting feeling like a little bit more like November. We're back in the 60s and 50s. Best shot of rain going to be in the Friday morning and early afternoon. Cooler air and lots of sunshine heading into Sunday and into next week as temperatures are back near 60 by Wednesday.
Check this out. We've all heard about citizen police or firefighter academies, but how would you like to train like an FBI agent? The Federal Bureau of Investigation opened its doors in California to show people the dangers of explosives.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
A powerful blast turning a paint can into a weapon, and a lesson from FBI Special Agent Bomb Tech Lee Witkowski.
I was going to try and find the lid, but I can't find the lid.
Witkowski, who has worked to dismantle bombs across the U.S. and foreign countries,
Right? And I'm good.
showed off the power of a small explosive device to locals signed up to this FBI Citizens Academy.
What I'm going to do is put you in the role of a bomb tech for a little while.
Did this bomb have an IED signature that you recognized?
Unlike on TV, in scenes like this one from the CBS show FBI True, these classes allow real FBI agents to explain their real-life investigations and crime-fighting tools to everyday people.
So that people can actually get an inside look at what we truly do every day.
Sean Reagan is special agent in charge of the FBI Sacramento Field Station. They respond to bomb threats frequently.
And schools get bomb threats, local malls get bomb threats. The FBI takes a leading role.
For FBI Citizen Academy students, this is a whole new perspective on crime fighting.
I really found it interesting last week when we learned about how the FBI is using the genealogy stuff to solve crimes.
I think for me, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
this heart-pounding moment, part of an FBI opening experience.
These FBI Citizens Academy classes are offered twice a year. You do need to be nominated by an FBI employee or former Citizens Academy graduate to enroll. The big question, would you guys do it?
I would.
Absolutely.
Sign me up today.
Yep.
Same.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really cool opportunity to just be able to see the behind the scenes, you know, I mean, I think with any law enforcement, but to see it with the FBI because it's such a secretive type of, you know, field that I think is like really awesome.
I have a friend that's a U.S. Marshal, and I'm asking him all the time, you know, what have you done? He's just like, I can't tell you about today. I can tell you about yesterday.
There's a lot of stuff that's,
fascinating.
you know,
I think I definitely would. I would run, not walk. To go to one of these
Oh,
classes.
100%.
I really would. If they had snacks, 100%. Snacks would sell me
Snacks
for sure.
and
Let's
FBI.
just be honest. No, but I have wanted to do FBI work in some of my past years, so this would be super interesting for me as well.
And Hunter, you got a chance to do an just with first responders for firefighters.
Yeah,
so
the Greensboro Fire Department one was incredible. They did have snacks, but it was a great experience to be able to learn firsthand what the department does. So if you want to, this is a great chance to sign up for the next fire one, sign up for the police one.
Yeah.
There is a ton out there, and I think everyone should learn about it.
help to build those relationships with
Absolutely.
law
And understand
enforcement as
what
well
they do.
too.
Oh yeah.
Very good. They do a lot. 427. We'll be back. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. This is Sydney, everyone. Claire, Hunter, hello. Halfway through the week, ready to go.
It's looking a little, you know, dark and eerie and interesting in Winston-Salem. But Eric, can I just say, when I walked out at around, you know, the time before I have to come into work, it was just, it felt so nice. The weather.
Beautiful. And
it's so beautiful.
And this is, Claire was pointing this out to me. There's a reason why it's kind of hazy out there, we think.
It's finally moving in.
Well, we're starting to see a little bit more smoke from the North Carolina wildfires.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep, and from even the wildfires in Virginia, portions of southwestern Virginia. But that cold front coming in could, you know, bring that out of the area, pushing that smoke away. Still, though, it looks like it's going to remain dry. I'll have more, you coming up in just a bit.
All right. Well, new at 4:30, the fourth and final Trump family member is on the stand today in the civil trial that alleges widespread fraud in the Trump family business.
Former President Donald Trump's oldest daughter is appearing 2 days after he testified for 4 tense hours, repeatedly lashing out at the judge overseeing the case and the New York Attorney General. Michael George has more.
Ivanka Trump arrived at the courthouse for her testimony in the civil fraud trial against the Trump Organization. Unlike her two brothers and her father, former President Trump, she is not a defendant in this case. On the witness stand, Ivanka Trump said she was generally familiar with accounting practices, but was not a specialist. She also testified that it's difficult to remember details from loan negotiations dating back several years.
She will attempt today to distance herself from the company, but unfortunately the facts will reveal that in fact that she was very much involved.
The $250 million civil lawsuit alleges that the value of properties was inflated, defrauding banks and insurers in the process. Trump and his family members deny any wrongdoing. Ivanka Trump's testimony comes after her father was on the stand Monday here in Lower Manhattan. During hours of heated testimony, Trump clashed with prosecutors and the judge, refusing to answer questions with a yes or no. At one point, the judge threatened to remove Trump from the witness stand. Outside the courtroom, the current GOP frontrunner lashed out.
Because it's a scam, and this is a case that should have never been brought.
The judge has already found Trump and his company liable for fraud. This trial will determine how much Trump has to pay in penalties.
The case against Ivanka Trump was dismissed in June because of the age of allegations outside the statute of limitations. She fought testifying publicly and lost.
Like we mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, seeing some of that hazy smoke here on our Winston-Salem camera out in the distance in association with those wildfires out there in western North Carolina. We'll be keeping a close eye on that, and that burn ban continues across the area in most western counties heading into the next couple of days. Going to be seeing that smoke as well. 1 second, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my clicker, but current temperatures have been seasonably warm. We're back in the upper 70s across the area. Today we actually made it into 78 degrees, just 2 degrees away from the record of 80 degrees. And tomorrow could be another record setter. Back in the lower 80s, number to beat is 82, set back in 2005. A little bit of relief is on the way for cooler weather as this cold front approaches the area. Again, tomorrow going to be the warmest day before that front sweeps through the region, bringing in low pressure. The even possibility of some isolated showers throughout the day on Friday as well. Look at the high-res futurecast throughout this upcoming weekend. Heading into Friday, the opportunity of rain coming into the area. A little bit more cloud coverage for the weekend as well. Starting to see more clearing as we head into next week. Next 12 hours, we're back into the 60s and 50s. Cooler weather is also on the way for the weekend and into next week as we're back in the 60s and 50s for highs.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. As fighting in Gaza City intensifies, President Biden is urging Israel's prime minister for a humanitarian pause in Gaza. Israel is insisting a halt in fighting will only come after the more than 200 hostages taken by Hamas are released. Meanwhile, in Southern California, members of the Jewish community mourned the death of a man that investigators say was involved in a physical confrontation. It was during an Israel-Hamas war demonstration. The case is being investigated as a possible hate crime.
5 GOP candidates will face off in Miami tonight for the third Republican presidential candidate debate. They'll be making their case to Americans just 1 day after voters headed to the polls. Once again, former President Donald Trump is skipping the debate. Instead, he is holding a campaign rally at the same time in Florida.
Customers of some major U.S. banks are experiencing delays receiving their direct deposits. It's affecting banks like Wells Fargo and Bank of America. Officials believe it all started following a glitch processing payments last Friday. The banks are referring questions to an automated payments company, the Clearinghouse, which says it's working to resolve the issue.
A new report shows U.S. consumers continue to rack up credit card debt. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says credit card balances hit a new record, once again surpassing $1 trillion. That's a 40% increase from the beginning of 2021. Prior research showed Americans went on a spending spree this summer, buying everything from trips to concert tickets. Experts say credit card debt will likely go even higher now that the holiday shopping season is underway.
Well, the countdown to Thanksgiving is on. Right now, the CDC says you're in the best window to get vaccinated to help protect yourself and your family from the holidays.
Getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday may include more than shopping, prepping, and serving.
I am the parent of a toddler, so always extra aware of times of the year where sickness is abundant.
The CDC says this 2-week run-up to Turkey Day is the best time to get vaccinated for COVID, flu, and RSV.
We know we're going to see more flu starting to circulate and more COVID. So right now is a great time for you to get vaccinated. That way your body can build up its protection ahead of the holiday season.
CDC Director Dr. Mandy Cohen got her COVID shot last month and acknowledged COVID vaccine uptake in the U.S. is a little slow.
I know folks want to leave COVID in the rearview mirror, but unfortunately it is still here and is still causing folks to get very sick and even die.
The CDC says it's seeing an uptake in flu shots in line with recent years, mainly because people are used to it and have made it part of their routine. The CDC says it expects to see flu, COVID, and RSV all circulating at the same time this season. But how severely could depend on vaccination levels.
I have already done it. As soon as they were available, I went and got them.
There are additional precautions we can all take for Thanksgiving gatherings. If you're sick, stay home, wear a mask, increase ventilation, and even consider a meal outside.
It's really about who are you, what's your personal risk, and who are you going to be around.
Food for thought and for a happy and healthy Thanksgiving.
And by the way, the RSV shot is recommended for adults 60 and over. Pregnant women can get a vaccine to protect their babies, and newborns can receive preventative antibodies. The CDC is working with manufacturers to accelerate production since there was a limited supply of that antibody shot.
Thanksgiving is about 2 weeks away, so there's still time to plan out where to gather around the table. According to the Wallet Hub, Greensboro ranks 9th in the country for the places to be for Thanksgiving this year. Factors taken into consideration are cost of Thanksgiving dinner, pumpkin patches, per capita, holiday decoration, shops per capita, giving ratio, and the weather forecast.
Well, here's how you can spice up that Thanksgiving dinner. You got to check this out. DiGiorno is releasing a Thanksgiving pizza. The frozen pie contains all of the beloved holiday staples as toppings, including turkey, gravy, diced sweet potatoes, green beans, cranberries, and cheese, all on a thick Detroit-style crust. The Thanksgiving pizza is available only on their website.
I don't know.
I was listening to you read that, and I could hear the cranberries and cheese.
As it was getting going down and down on
You're
the
like,
list,
that's
I was
enough.
I don't know about that.
It's getting worse and worse.
Maybe I would try a corner of it just to say that I've tried
No,
it.
I do that.
No.
All right,
piece of bread.
so I don't like the sweet on it.
The crust.
What is it? Cranberries
Yeah.
and whatever the other one was that was sweet. I don't remember. Take those out, and I might.
See, no,
What
not
about
me.
the turkey though?
I think I would do the cranberries. It's the gravy that had me.
Oh no, I like
got
that.
me, shaking my head.
That's so funny. How
And the
everybody said
green
that.
beans, y'all aren't saying the green beans.
Oh no, they
I
can
like
stay.
those.
They can stay.
I mean, look.
I am devil's advocate here, clearly.
Yeah, I would leave everything but the cranberries. That's
Yeah,
me.
that's how I feel. I don't want the sweetness because like the savory is all there.
It works together.
My dad, you guys, on a roll would always just like put the turkey, the potatoes, the gravy. Like he would put everything.
Make it like a sandwich?
And make it a
Wow.
sandwich. This man invented
Well,
genius.
he would love this.
Oh yeah,
Invented
but you don't put
genius.
cranberry. He'd probably put cranberries
yeah.
on there. I would not.
I would
but-
not.
And I guess with Thanksgiving plates, a lot of the food's already touched anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't
Let
try
me say one thing. I've had a pizza that was chocolate chipped, and it was some of the best pizza I've ever had in
Like
my
dessert
life.
pizza?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did it
I
have
love
cheese?
dessert pizza.
Yeah.
Well, probably
Cheese?
cream
Who would have
cheese or
thought?
something like
Yeah,
yeah.
more.
something.
It was more creamy, yes. But I'm just saying, the sweet side
That's
can
right.
make it better
They
sometimes.
work. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back.
Yeah, but it's not working great, I will tell you that. It goes in and out still, and I have to move it around a lot, unfortunately. I thought we had it fixed, but maybe not. I mean, just look at all this cuteness, right? Whether it's the dog waiting for you to come home and looking out the window, or the little one ready to come in and play, it is so cute. And it's such a mess. All the smudges, all the nose prints, all the hand prints, I'm constantly cleaning up right after all of these people. Well, which got me to thinking, what is the best product to use? Consumer Reports put cleaners to the test.
I applied toothpaste, oily fingerprints, a mixture of margarine and flour, and bright red lipstick to bathroom mirrors and living room windows. Then I sprayed each one with the different glass cleaners, and I counted the number of wipes needed to get rid of the messes.
Consumer Reports tested products on the shelf and the home mixture of vinegar and water.
It worked in our test and it removed our messes, but it did leave noticeable amounts of streaks behind, so it just requires a lot more wiping.
Okay, so I'm a Windex girl because I think Windex just works really well.
On everything.
On everything. Consumer Reports agrees, but the smell of Windex, not so fabulous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It doesn't bother me. I mean, I understand, but it doesn't bother me like
You think
some
it
of the
just
other
smells
stuff.
clean?
I hate Lysol smell, even though I know it does a good job.
Right.
I hate that smell.
I feel like I am the window cleaner police, by the way. I do use the Windex, but anytime I do see the streaks behind, I just like I'm looking at
bother you?
every time.
And so Windex will leave some streaks, right? So if you want to get away from the ammonia smell and the streak thing, Consumer Reports found a product that I had never heard of until today. Let's show it to you. It's called the Sprayway Foaming Glass Cleaner. It cut through all of CR's messes, leaving surfaces dry just after one wipe down, they said. Plus, it can also be used as chrome tile and a porcelain cleaner. And I checked online, it's like cheaper than Windex. It's about like $1 cheaper.
So, I love how it sprays on there.
I have this.
Cheap. I also have this. I was like, oh, that's cheaper. We'll see and we'll try it. I love it.
And who knew that was the pick?
I didn't. I thought I was still
You
searching.
basically spray it on and use a dry paper towel to rub it on, and it really works. I have some too. Love it.
Okay.
I'll have to try that out.
All right, so now you have some endorsements there. I want to show you what I use my Windex for, though, other than windows. because Windex can do all sorts of things. I don't know if you saw my big fat Greek wedding and they did it to like do like pimples and stuff, but that's not what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I use it to get out stains. So this was a bleed from a nosebleed on a pillowcase, and this is only after I had sprayed it once. By the time I sprayed it 3 or 4 times, all of the blood had come out. All of it, just by spraying the Windex. Now, I've also used this trick. If you spill like red wine on carpet, you spray the heck out of the stain, you put a paper towel on top of it, and then you put a book on top of that, so something heavy or whatever, and it actually draws out the stain from the carpet.
So you just leave it there for a while and it pulls it out?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Windex.
Interesting home
I love it. It's
Who
magic.
knew?
It's magic.
This blows my mind. I'm like, these are issues that I've had galore, and I just didn't know what to use.
See, Windex.
Thanks, Mom.
Now you don't have to call your mom. I was about to
That's
say.
right.
All right. Happy cleaning,
As you
friends.
know.
So I am all about the 80s, and I never thought I'd see the day where you could have a place and you could impress people with 80s trivia knowledge and play actual 80s arcade games at the same time. Well, thanks to one Winston-Salem man, it's all coming true. I spoke with Scott Leftwich about the new local game show he has called Arcade Animals. Take a look.
Introduce us to the 5 games we're going to play today.
Gene, we're all over the board today. Creepy crawlers, strategic operations, intergalactic warfare, and birds of a different feather.
Scott, this is awesome. You know, for people that, let's start out with what you have in your basement of your house. It's an 80s arcade and Airbnb. Explain this.
I own the largest private collection on the East Coast of working 80s arcade games. It's a 27-year collection, and we then evolved into an Airbnb, And now it's an 80s themed Airbnb, so people come from all over the world to stay in the Airbnb. There was a TikTok video that went viral.
So about the game show, how did you come up with the idea?
We had always wanted to have some game competitions here. And there was an old show from the 80s called Starcade that I was a big fan of. And Arcade Animals is like that show with a few twists and turns. But that's kind of how I came up with the idea.
So when people watch this game show or maybe compete, what's the experience like? How is the competition?
Contestants are chosen based on their skill set.
Are you guys ready for an awesome set of games?
Yes.
To the studio.
And those two people will go head to head. They will answer trivia questions. Whoever gets the questions correct will get to choose what arcade game they're going to play. There are 5 randomly chosen arcade games. They'll then compete on that game, and we'll do that 3 times. And after the 3rd time, we tally all the scores. Whoever has the most scores is crowned the champion, and then that person will get to play for his or her own 80s arcade game.
Scott, this sounds like so much fun. I'm not going to lie. I want to be a contestant.
Thank you for having me, Eric, and we might make that happen.
Ooh,
right.
sign me up.
Okay, so I'm like,
What's cool about this is he has, in case you didn't hear, he had the largest actual 80s arcade collection on the East Coast. So he decided, I'm going to make my basement into this Airbnb. So there's a bedroom with 2 beds and all the 80s decorations, and then you can play the games. But then he said, I want to do a game show. So now his game show's on YouTube. People can come.
So cool.
By the way, if you win the game show, you get an actual stand-up old school 80s arcade game, which is about $6,000 value. So they're giving away prizes with this thing.
That's pretty awesome.
I don't know if I have faith in myself though, unless it's Pac-Man or.
But I was just about to say, I get very competitive when it comes to Pac-Man.
So they pick the 5 games, then you do a trivia battle. Whoever wins the trivia battle gets to pick which game you play, and then they battle in that game. That's
the
fun.
upper hand. What doesn't this guy do? That's my question.
I want to know what he does for a living to be able to do all that. Like, what's going on here?
The set looked really cool too.
It's
It
really
looked like
neat.
a cool game show.
By the way, the name of their YouTube channel, Wieners and Losers. That's what, not winners, Wieners and Losers. So funny.
Oh my gosh.
How about we get a check of that forecast?
Yes, of course. I think it's a wiener, at least for now. We were definitely seasonably warm today. We were back at 78 degrees, just 2 degrees away from the record of 80 set back in 1914. Tomorrow, we're reaching back toward the record at 80 degrees in the forecast. Record to beat is 82 set back in 2005. Big changes, though, are on the way as this cold front sweeps in later in the day on Friday, offering us a little bit more cloud coverage heading into early Saturday. The opportunity for some much needed isolated showers coming into the day on Friday as well. So into tonight, we're back mostly clear skies, back into the middle 50s. Tomorrow, going to be the last warm day for a little while. Lower 80s. A little bit of a reality check is on the way in your 7-day forecast. We're going from the 80s all the way back down into the 30s for overnight lows heading into the weekend. Highs only in the upper 50s, nearing 60 into the middle of next week.
We are 1 day away from the Carolina Panthers Thursday night football game. Yeah, you heard it. They will be taking on the Chicago Bears, the same team that has the Panthers' first-round pick for next year and wide receiver DJ Moore. Both teams are coming off a loss, but here's how you can watch it. You'll have to go out and watch the game unless you have an Amazon Prime account. That game kicks off tomorrow night at 8:15.
And don't miss this. It's week 2 of our Panthers ticket giveaway. All you have to do is answer the trivia questions on our website, and it does not matter if you get them right or wrong. Since we are the official station for the Carolina Panthers, the winner will get 2 tickets to a game plus a swag pack. Trivia for the week 2 giveaway closes Friday at 3 p.m. We'll see you back here at 5.
Hey there, it's your friends from the Good Morning Show, Ben, Lauren, and Megan.
Do you have a little one who's turning 2 years old?
We want to celebrate them on TV with Who's Turning 2 Tuesdays. Text birthday to 336-379-5775 to find out how to submit your birthday boy or girl.
And from all of us on the Good Morning Show, happy birthday! but I haven't looked yet. Hey, here's a little mic check for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
That's where I was. Sorry, this microphone cord. It's not. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Hi there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello.
There wasn't a dry eye when Jason Corbett's children, Jack and
come right over there after.
Yeah, just come over. They'll be doing their talking or whatever they have,
Okay.
and then you just come over and you can hop in line.
I'm gonna tell him that really
Okay.
quick. Okay, so apparently they're gonna start their talking at like 5. We can come back over there after, and then ask.
It's time for my 2 cents. Today is the National STEM or STEAM Day, a day to encourage the youth to explore science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And oftentimes when you think of STEM, it's easy to think of how rigorous courses involving the subjects can be. But I've come to find out the critical thinking skills developed make it so worth pursuing. Growing up, my cousin Franklin had a huge passion for becoming a pilot and studying aviation. In fact, I remember when he was about 9 years old, he'd tell us all the time, "I'm gonna be a pilot, I'm gonna be a pilot." And as his family, we'd always be so excited for him, but we also knew studying hard would be crucial. Then in high school, he enrolled into a STEM program within a career academy, among other courses. And over a decade later, he is officially a certified flight instructor working for Middle Tennessee State University and has flown to over 60 airports. Safe to say we are super proud of him. I asked him what advice he would give to parents with children interested in studying STEM. He says start taking any programs involved with STEM at a young age and don't limit yourself to just one career field. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
We are on top of breaking news on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock. We now know the long-awaited sentences of Molly Corbett and Tom Martens. The father and daughter got the same sentence for the 2015 death of Molly's husband, Jason.
The two were previously convicted of murder, but that was later tossed out. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake joins us live.